Look at her, man. As soon as I took up my phone to record, she turned her back. Yeah. Like I give a damn. Like I give a shit. I don't know these people anyway. Do I care? They're not doing nothing to enhance my life in any way. So I can care less what they do. Right? But I will expose it though. That's what I'll do. I will expose it. So anyway, so as I was leaving Pam, I had to go downstairs and just bring up some water that she had in her car. So I took the cart, and my son went to get something, and there's a mini cart fell on his head. And I said, yeah, because your mother put it up there. Your mother, she just throws stuff up there, not even thinking, let me make sure that this is in a good place, what have you, so that it wouldn't fall on the kids, it wouldn't injure them in any way, And then she thought it was funny. She was laughing about it. I said, yeah. I said, And I went to get the cart. She had packed shoe boxes on top of the shopping cart. I'm like, why would you do that? Why are you packing shoe? But anyhow, But anyhow, so again, like I said, I've noticed that how, particularly and I said this has happened a couple of times. So, like I said, I always like to observe first to make sure that it's a pattern that I see when certain things happen, right? And so when I start to see those patterns, if it happens, a few times, 3-4 times, then I know that this is a pattern and this is what being done. So she uses, as she tried to throw, as we were talking for a little bit, she's talking about how when she was giving birth to Ethan, of course I wasn't there because, I was going through my target and stuff, and, I said to her, I wasn't ready for kids. I said, I already have one kid. I didn't want to have more kids. I wanted to be in a more serious relationship and, even married. But this is not what women want to hear. They want to hear this is what I want, and as with all her friends were having kids. So like I said, I don't, it's their body, right? That's what we've been told. It's their body, their decision, and but I know that hey, I got to step up to the plate, right? That's what they say, right? But not these women. These women, they will use that as a tool to create a wedge between you and your children, right? Because really and truly, come on, if a guy tells you, listen, this is what's happened to me, I'm being targeted, I've been diagnosed with having paranoid delusional personality disorder, right? And you just shove your shoulder and like, okay, and I'm thinking like, listen, I'm going through a lot of shit. I'm like, okay, here's somebody who is dating me, and at first she wasn't targeting me as much. It was very slight. But then it got worse. It got worse after when Ethan started getting a little older, when she started to mess around with her ex-lover. That's when she started to really target me. And then when I found out that, she was lying to me, telling me that she was home, and when she was, going out and having guys bring her to hotels and shit like that. And that was when it really got bad, because I talk about this when I was going to school at the Marriott downtown, that the perps will be positioned in front of the Marriott, looking at me and looking up at the Marriott, the hotel, right? So, that was when I realized that, yeah, they manipulated her, and they probably drugged her, brainwashed her to target me even more so now. So like I said, I had to learn to deal with that. So, like I said, I don't really accuse her of targeting me anymore. I just, defend myself psychologically from those attacks, right? So yeah, and this is what I do, all right? So anyhow, okay, that's funny. She was standing, she's looking at me. She was standing over there with no bag on. You guys see it, right? So what happened? They brought her a red bag too. That's funny. At least I didn't see it. She didn't have a bag on her. But look, she wants me to see. Look, she's over there. because they want me to see the color red. So she's facing, why she's facing that way, why she's stopping, right? But look at where she, look, now she's what? Now she's walking this way now she's going the other way. You know, I talk about how they, use the lesbian theme, and this is how they get a lot of black women who were in relationship with men and have kids to, become carpet munchers, as the Crimson Cure would say. They become carpet munchers because you know why? They don't know how to work with a man. They think that we're supposed to do everything they want us to do, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we can't even say no to them when it comes to sex, right? Because they're like, why are you saying no to me? I'm your woman. You're not supposed to be saying no to me to sex. But then they'll turn around and say, and you're supposed to accept that, But that's the selfish mindset that's been created within a lot of these women, right? And like I told her, I said, from we broke up, I said, listen, you want to be a single mother? I said, okay, go ahead. I said, I want you to know though, that when you go out there, these guys are not going to take you seriously, right? For one, because you don't take yourself seriously. I said, look at how I said, I'm not cleaning your house as much as I used to anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not cleaning your room. I'm not doing none of that stuff, right? None of that stuff. I said, let whoever you're dating, if they care for you, they're really concerned about you, you tell them the truth, and let them come help you clean up your damn bedroom. Clean up your, what I'm saying? Let them do that shit. But she's not going to do that because, she's become a hoarder. And that's what happens when people disassociate themselves from the truth because they don't want to get the therapy and the help that they need. And a lot of black women, a lot of European women don't want to get help, right? They rather go to the church, they rather hang around people who tell them bullshit, and particularly men who just want to screw you. Listen, when we're younger, as men we're younger, that's not every one of us, right? But some of us, we're in our 20s, we're having fun, what have you. But come on now, you're in your 40s, matter of fact, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s. You got to leave that shit behind. And that's the whole thing. But, men have learned this, and also that, but men understand that, listen, we're, these women, we know what it is that they want, okay? So we'll wine and dine them, get in their pants, and that's it. And I told her, I said, listen, they're not going to take you seriously. On top of that, if you're not careful, you got to watch out for STDs. I sent her an article, was it 2 weeks ago, about the rise in STDs, particularly in New York also, as well as Houston, Atlanta, since COVID. And I've told her this. I said, you have to be careful. I said, now on top of that also, but I'm a TI, and they're going to send honey traps your way. They could be male or female. They're going to say, but you know what? She loved that because she loved the fact, and this is what I said over the years. What she's done is she's learned how to manipulate the situation so that it benefits her in some way in terms of her having fun. Okay? But she don't seem to understand the danger, right, of her becoming entrapped in this, in what it is that they're trying to do. And I've sat her down, I've talked to her many times. But of course she thinks you don't want me to see anybody. I said, oh, come on, Pamela, that's not true. One thing I won't do, I won't babysit, be at your house when you go out on dates with men. Why would I do that? Come on, these women, look, another one in red. Look, they send them out tonight, look, another one in red, look. All right. Okay. Yeah, you see what he just made his hand? Like the gay thing, like this, you just see he like this. That's what he did. That's what I tell you that they do, You remember, like, if you're old enough, you remember Live in Color, where you had Men on Film, just their mannerism, the gay thing, what have you. They'll do that from time to time. I've talked about this. And, Pam will do that too. She'll do that when I'm over there. I've asked her, I said, listen, are you bisexual? I said, you can be honest. She's like, no, I love men, what have you. I'm like, okay, well, I don't think you're honest with me, but hey, particularly when she was messing with her ex-lover, that, having threesomes and all that shit. So, guess I'm too. I'm not. You know, I've always been this way. I've never been the one to engage in threesomes and these sort of sexual fantasies. You know, because to me, a fantasy is my fantasy. Once it becomes a reality, then I have no fantasy anymore. You know, I like to keep things in the fantasy realm. You know, but again, this whole promotion on the hypersexualism, particularly within black men and black women, is something that's been going on for decades, right? And for a lot of us, we don't have the people around us to tell us the truth, to really let us understand what white racism is truly about and what they've been up to. Okay? So, like I said, in our community, right, we just throw our young to the wolves. There's no other group of no other community of people do that. Only black people do that in America. They throw their young to the wolf. They throw them into the fire, right? They throw them into the fire, right? And see if they're going to survive. I mean, you know, as the Crimson Curse here, we operate in a lost value system. The dinocracy has created this lost value system that is upside down. We are backwards in our thinking. We are backwards in our the way we behave. You know, they have made us into a backwards thinking and a backwards behaving people. And, you know, it's the dysfunction and we think it's normal, and it's not. Anyhow, my bus is coming, so I'll talk to you guys in the next video.